This is Michael Sager. He's known by everyone in school because he's one of the most popular students. But what many don't know is that he's also one of the most hardworking students too. He balances his social life and studies perfectly, getting straight A's on every test while being part of multiple clubs. It's no wonder girls throw themselves at him all the time. But Michael doesn't seem to care for any of them. This is Emilio Daez. Just like Michael, he's also known by everyone in school. Even if he doesn't have any siblings, you would never know it. He's always surrounded by a group of friends, laughing and joking around. He's known for his incredible grades and skills in sports. Everyone loves him, even Michael. It was a bright, sunny day in school. The second period bell rings. Students start heading off to their next class. Michael and Emilio, who had just finished their exam, walk out together. The two were childhood friends since kindergarten. They've been through thick and thin together and have shared almost everything with each other. They knew each other so well that they could predict each other's moves. They walked into the cafeteria side by side and sat down at their usual table. Suddenly, Michael felt a tap on his shoulder. Turning around, he saw a beautiful girl holding out her lunchbox. "Here, I made you this," she said with a smile. Politely declined her offer. "Thanks, but I already ate." The girl looked disappointed, but before she could say anything, Emilio spoke up. "Actually, I'll eat it." "Right," he turned to Michael with a playful grin. Michael rolled his eyes, shaking his head. As the days went by, the same thing happened every day. Girls would approach Michael with lunch or gifts, but he would always decline them, much to their disappointment. Instead, Emilio would always end up taking whatever they offered. This continued until one day when Michael couldn't take it anymore. "Why do you take everything they give you?" he asked Emilio. "One day, 'cause you don't want it, Mickey," Emilio replied, taking a bite of the cake that was offered to them. "I'm your friend, remember? And friends help each other," he said with a smile. Michael stared at him for a moment, then burst out laughing. Throughout high school, Michael and Emilio remained the top of their class. They studied together and motivated each other to keep pushing forward. They were inseparable. However, there was something they both knew but didn't talk about. They secretly loved each other. They had feelings for each other, but they were afraid to ruin their friendship. One day, Emilio approached Michael after school. "Hey, Mickey," he said, looking down. "Yeah, Emi," replied Michael, tilting his head in confusion. I like someone," Emilio confessed, looking up with hopeful eyes. Michael froze. His heart sank. He knew this day would come, but he didn't think it would be so soon. Trying to keep his voice steady, he asked, "Oh, really? Who does he like?" "Her name is Maria. She's in our class. Do you know her?" Emilio asked, waiting for Michael's response. Michael managed a weak smile. "Yeah, I know her. She's nice," he said, trying to sound indifferent. Over the next few weeks, Michael watched as Emilio grew closer to Maria. He saw the way they held hands and how they looked at each other. It made his chest ache, but he knew he had to be happy for his friend. Emilio took a deep breath. "I need you to promise me something. What is it?" Michael asked, his eyes searching Emilio's face. "Promise me that no matter what I say, you won't change." Michael felt a surge of emotions. What did he mean by that? Was he going to confess something to him? Or was he going to tell him about Maria? Before Michael could respond, the school bell rang, signaling the end of school. Michael quickly composed himself. "Yeah, sure," he said, hiding his true feelings behind a forced smile. "Anything for you, bro?" Little did he know that this promise would change everything. The following week, Michael noticed a change in Emilio's behavior. He seemed distant and avoided eye contact. When Michael tried to talk to him, he would quickly change the subject. Michael was confused and worried. He had never seen this side of his usually cheerful friend. One day, Michael decided to confront Emilio. He needed answers. He found Emilio sitting alone at their usual table in the cafeteria during lunchtime. "Ime, we need to talk," Michael said, sitting down next to him. Emilio jumped slightly, startled by Michael's sudden appearance. "Oh, hey Mickey," he said, avoiding eye contact. "What's wrong? You've been acting weird lately. Is everything okay?" Michael asked, his voice filled with concern. Emilio hesitated, but seeing the worry on Michael's face, he finally spoke up. "I'm sorry, Mickey. I haven't been honest with you." "What do you mean?" Michael asked, his heart pounding. "About Maria," Emilio confessed, looking down. I don't like her like that." Michael's eyes widened in surprise. Was this why Emilio had been acting so distant? Had he been hiding his feelings from Michael all this time? But he knew that Emilio was still struggling. One day, Emilio decided to transfer to another school. He didn't want to cause any trouble, and he hoped that by distancing himself, he could make things easier for Michael. However, Michael couldn't bear the thought of losing his best friend. So he decided to confess his love for Emilio and let him know how he truly felt. After Emilio transferred, Michael's life felt empty without him. He missed their inside jokes and their shared memories. He tried to move on, but he couldn't help but think about Emilio. One day, Michael decided to visit Emilio at his new school. He wanted to see how he was doing and let him know that he was thinking of him. When Michael arrived at the new school, he couldn't help but feel a sense of déjà vu. The hallways seemed strangely familiar, and as he turned a corner, he bumped right into Emilio. "Emilio," Michael exclaimed, surprised to see him there. "Mickey, what are you doing here?" Emilio asked, taken aback by Michael's presence. I just wanted to see how you were doing," Michael replied, hoping that his voice sounded casual. Emilio looked at him for a moment, then a slow smile spread across his face. "Come with me," he said, taking Michael's hand and leading him to an empty classroom. Emilio finally broke the silence. "I've missed you, Michael," he whispered, his eyes searching Michael's face. "I've missed you too, Emi," Michael replied, his voice filled with emotion. In that moment, they realized that their feelings for each other were too strong to ignore. They had spent so much time together and had shared so many memories. They knew each other better than anyone else, and now they couldn't imagine their lives without each other. A few months later, Michael received an email from the university he had applied to. He had been accepted and offered a full scholarship. It was his dream come true, but it meant that he would have to move away from his family and friends. He was torn between pursuing his dreams and staying close to those he loved. When Michael shared the good news with Emilio, he could see the struggle in his friend's eyes. Emilio understood Michael's dreams and supported him, but he couldn't help but feel a pang of sadness knowing that it would mean being apart. "You deserve this, Mickey," Emilio said, placing a hand on Michael's shoulder. "Go after your dreams. Don't let anything hold you back." Michael appreciated Emilio's understanding, but he couldn't shake off the feeling that he was leaving behind more than just his hometown. He was leaving behind his best friend, his confidant, his one true love. As the day of Michael's departure approached, the tension between him and Emilio grew. Neither of them wanted to admit how much their impending separation would affect them. They tried to distract themselves with school and hanging out with friends, but it wasn't the same. The weight of their unspoken feelings hung heavy in the air. On the day Michael was supposed to leave, Emilio didn't show up at the airport. Michael waited, his heart sinking with every passing minute. Just when he began to lose hope, he heard a familiar voice calling his name. There, standing before him, was Emilio, his eyes filled with tears. "Emilio," Michael whispered, unable to believe that his friend had actually come. I thought you weren't coming," he added, his voice trembling with emotion. "Of course I came," Emilio replied, rushing towards Michael and enveloping him in a tight hug. "I couldn't let you leave without saying goodbye." When they pulled away from the hug, Michael could see the tears streaming down Emilio's face. "Don't cry, Emi," he said, wiping away Emilio's tears. "I'll come visit you, okay?" "I know," Emilio whispered, his voice choked with emotion. I can't believe you're really leaving." "Me neither," Michael admitted, his own tears threatening to spill. In that moment, they both knew that their lives were about to change. They had faced countless obstacles together, but this time, the distance between them would be greater than ever before.